there is real appetite out there for tree planting. These schemes were maxed out in terms of people picking up the trees. People are really, really keen on getting trees in the ground outside of woodland, improving their local area. Hi, I'm Tom. I work for the Tree Council on the Shared Outcomes Fund Trees Outside Woodland project. We are engaged with doing research and looking into different ways that we can get trees planted outside of woodland areas. These are the trees that we encounter most often. They're the trees that you see in parks, in urban areas, on farms, in our countrysides, in hedgerows. Right now, we're in the middle of winter, which is also the middle of tree planting season. It's a time of year where lots of different local authorities, charities and other organisations all over the UK are going to be giving away trees in tree giveaway schemes. And we really wanted to look at whether or not that was an effective way of getting trees established.
In Chichester district, we've been running free and subsidised tree schemes. We've been part of the Trees Outside Woodlands project. We really wanted to research the difference between free and subsidised tree schemes. We wanted to find out whether, if you ask people to pay a financial contribution towards their trees, whether this increased the survival rate of the trees, did it change the uptake, is it an effective way of getting trees in the ground?
Across all of the schemes that we've been looking into, we've seen a 60% survival rate. Factor in the fact that we're giving away these trees and there's no oversight of how they're planted and what aftercare they're receiving. It's a very effective and quite cost-effective way of getting trees established outside of woodlands.
Over 2 consecutive years, we ran a free tree scheme the first year and then a subsidised tree scheme the second year. It was a really great scheme to run. Pretty much anybody could apply. We had a huge range of different applicants: schools, parish councils, community groups, businesses, big farmers and landowners wanting to plant hundreds of metres of hedgerow, and a whole different range of reasons that people wanted to plant their trees. Some people wanted to plant a hedgerow to kind of create a bit of a shelter belt in a field. Schools wanted to plant as part of their eco group, or maybe as part of a forest schools area.
Another finding that has come about in this project is that actually if we ask people to pay a little bit towards their trees, they fare better. There's a better survival rate. We ran alongside free tree schemes, subsidised tree schemes as we call them, and that was where the local authority in this case would pay 50% of the cost of the trees and the guards and the canes to look after the trees in their first few years, and the recipient of the trees paid the other 50%. And we found that in those cases, the survival rate for those trees was significantly higher.
So it's perhaps that when you ask people to pay a financial contribution towards their trees, maybe they look after them a bit more, maybe they water them a little more when it's in kind of dry periods, maybe they've mulched them a bit more. But yeah, it has shown that when people are asked to pay a financial contribution towards their trees, perhaps they do just look after them a little better, and we've had a higher survival rate for subsidised tree schemes versus free tree schemes. We worked with 3 other local authorities across the 2 years for this project, and across the 4 local authorities we planted 160,000 trees, which is absolutely incredible. Huge number of trees across the 4 areas, across 1,200 sites, which was amazing. So loads of trees in the ground. So yeah, 100,000 trees pretty much are still standing now, which is great.
One of the crucial findings of this scheme is that, yes, actually tree schemes, so giving away trees for free or asking people to pay a small amount towards them, it is an effective way of getting trees planted. You might not have the survival rate you would see if there was professional planting, but it's a cost-effective way of local authorities and other organisations getting trees in the ground.
The kids love getting outdoors. They're so keen, they're really enthusiastic. They want to take care of things. They like getting outside into the environment, and they know how important it is for us to have these extra trees to encourage wildlife, but also to extend our lovely forest area. Hi, I'm Mrs. Tarrant from Kingsham Primary School, and I'm the school's eco lead. School budgets aren't always very good, so we always look out for things that we can use within our school grounds. I met with Sophie, who come round and talked me through the process. She also discussed how we could use the trees in our area and how many we need. So it was quite a beneficial experience. And she was able to be hands-on and talk me through what was needed and, you know, how we could implement it on our site. We got the trees on a windy February morning, but we've already planned as a school, children from each class would have come out and help us plant them, and they got involved with the process, and we had a very jam-packed morning with the children coming out, helping us dig the holes, make sure everything was in order, getting them planted, watered, etc. We've had a few casualties, obviously, because of weather, but I would say on the whole, yeah, they've done pretty good. As a whole, we've done a really good job of looking after them, and that, you know, and as we go forward, we're going to maintain that as well.
My name's David. I'm a resident here on the East Beach Walk estate in Selsey. When I moved to the estate, I knew nothing about conservation. I've got an engineering background, and this was just an open green space as far as I was concerned. I started to realise over time that there's more and more things we could do on this estate to increase biodiversity and improve habitat. I've just taken an interest in it as part of my retirement. Chichester Council were offering the free tree scheme. This was back in December 2021. We identified some gaps around the existing hedgerow around the estate. So around the estate, we've got just over a kilometre of hedgerow. So we use some of the free trees to fill gaps in the hedgerow, and that's worked out really well because they're nicely integrating into the existing hedgerow. With the subsidised scheme, we contributed 50% of the total cost. So I had to put that together as a business case to say, we're going to spend this amount of money. These will be the immediate benefits. Trees are probably the biggest projects that we've been involved in. In December, we planted an orchard, a community orchard. We've been sowing wildflower seeds, like for example around the basin here. So it's partly for the greater good of conservation and the environment, but also for the benefit of residents.
Our scheme was really popular. We ended up giving away over 17,000 free trees to residents, community groups, businesses, farmers all across the county. Hi, my name's Louise and I'm the Trees Outside Woodlands project officer at Kent County Council, and I planned and administered the free tree scheme that we ran in 2022. We had such a range of people applying for our free trees. We had a brownies group who were planting the trees to get their badges. We had a crematorium. We had wildlife conservation community projects like this one today. Lots of local residents planting them in their gardens. People wanting to enhance the natural environment, and people enhancing their local business as well. We've had lots of people asking, are we going to run this scheme again? It was so amazing. So there's lots of interest there. There's lots of appetite for trees to be planted in Kent, and I think it's a really great way for a local authority to increase the tree numbers in their county.
The land came up for sale. Myself, together with 32 residents here, clubbed together and gained enough money to purchase the land at auction. My name's Paul Fennell and I'm a resident here in the Links, which is based in Addington in Kent. Well, we wanted to keep a buffer between ourselves and the golf course, but also we wanted to retain the natural beauty of the area and encourage wildlife. So the best way to do that was to get plants. So I looked round online and I saw the KCC actually did a free scheme, which I submitted an application and was fortunate enough to get 200 odd trees. So we've got 15 species of trees in here from Kent County Council, which are now starting to grow, and it's wonderful. We've got oak, we've got buckthorn, we've got hawthorn, we've got silver birch, but most importantly, we've got black poplar in there, which are endangered really in this country, and we've got 9 of them, possibly 10. We did a count, we didn't find the other 10th one, but we know I planted it. Scheme was very easy. I made the application, said who we were, why we wanted to do it, and I was fortunate enough to be selected, so I was delighted. It's tremendously important to encourage wildlife. You see so much of being developed in the southeast. It's good to have, you know, a natural area for animals to come.
Trees are awesome. It's so important to get more trees in the ground. And this is really interesting. This project is all about getting trees outside of woodlands planted. There's a lot of woodland planting going on, but there's so much space and so much capacity for trees outside woodlands to be planted.
If we do this now, then future generations are going to be reaping the benefits. And I've met so many people who are just really passionate about that. And it's great, that sort of almost like selfless act.
So I've been involved in this project since it started in October 2020, and I love it, and I love the people that I work with. Seeing the trees come into leaf and blossom and flower and see how much they grow every year is a really great feeling.
So I just love trees, and every time we cut down a tree, you know, I feel so sad really. So trees are wonderful.
Our research has shown that running free and subsidised tree schemes are really effective ways of getting trees planted outside of woodlands. There is a real appetite for trees, and tree schemes are a brilliant way of getting trees in the ground.
The key thing is that if you offer these schemes, it gets trees in the ground.
So my favourite tree, and this is quite embarrassing, so bear with me. My favourite tree is the monkey puzzle tree. They're non-native, they're completely ridiculous. They look hilarious, they've got a great name, and I've loved them since I was tiny.